The Nissan Leaf, the first mainstream electric car along with the Renault Zoe. Now, the Nissan Leaf wasn't the best, but it showed what an electric car could be in the future. The next generation improved on this, but still wasn't the best, and with rivals like the MG4 and Vauxhall Astra Electric coming out, it was falling behind very quickly. Well, Nissan noticed this and has completely reinvented the Leaf. This is the new one, and it is now an SUV coupe with great range and style. Let's see what it is like and if it can revolutionise the electric car market once again like it did all those years ago. Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Cars and More. This is the #1 place to be for car news and reviews. Sit back, buckle up, let's go. So, the styling of the new Nissan Leaf is a complete departure from any other Nissan. It slightly resembles the new Qashqai facelift at the front, but it has an electric twist. To start with, we have this black surround with a body colour inner part. The top part houses a light bar and the main part of the headlights. And down the side of the black bar we get some LED daytime running lights on it too, which make it look quite sporty. This design I do quite like too. Lower down we get a central air vent which is clean and minimalistic, and we don't get any side vents on this one, which is quite unusual. Overall then, a complete departure from the old Leaf. Moving around to the side of the new Nissan Leaf and we can see a more premium design to it. To start with, we get this black plastic cladding along the wheel arches and lower seals, which gives it more of an off-road look. We also get a few sharp creases as well as pop-out door handles on the front doors and a hidden handle on the rear. Wheel designs are also quite good, and we get a black contrasting roof too. Moving around to the back, and this is where the design really gets interesting. As I said, with this generation of Leaf, it is a coupe SUV. Think of it as a Nissan Ariya coupe on which it's based on. So, the rear design is quite good. They have taken the inspiration from the Nissan Z coupe with the black bar that hides the tail lights. It gives a sporty racing look, and I even quite like this ducktail spoiler, which only high-end cars have. I also like the Nissan lettering too. The bumper design is blocky, but it does have some silver panels on it which make it look more interesting. Overall then, not a bad design. Right, let's have a look and see what battery and motor options you can have with the new Nissan Leaf. So, for the Nissan Leaf there will be two options from launch. Let's start with the first option. This is called Standard Range, and this has a 52 kWh battery pack made to a single electric motor mounted on the front, making it have front wheel drive. This has 174 brake horsepower and can do 0 to 62 in 8.6 seconds, which isn't the quickest, but then the Nissan Leaf was never designed for performance in mind. The range now is 270 miles, which is quite decent. The next version is the long range version, and this uses a bigger 75 kWh battery pack, giving this car 375 miles of range. The power has also increased to 215 brake horsepower, which again isn't a lot, but it is enough. It does reduce the 0 to 62 time down though to 7.6 seconds, which is still good, and it is still front wheel drive. Now, there may be a 4-wheel drive dual motor coming in the future, but we will have to wait and see on that one. The price of the new Nissan Leaf hasn't been announced yet, but it is expected to start around £30,000, so it is priced just right and not too much considering it is an electric car. Right, let's have a look at the interior. So, climbing inside the new Nissan Leaf, and to be honest, it does feel very familiar to the Nissan Ariya, but it has been updated to make it look much more modern than that car. To start with, we get a 3-layer dashboard design with the top part of the dashboard housing a heads-up display as well as the ambient lighting. Lower down we get this shelf that sticks out quite far, and this houses your infotainment system and instrument cluster on it. Now, this display is quite interesting as it has the latest infotainment system which runs Android Automotive, and it works very well. I do wish though that these two displays were just one big display, as more cars are coming out with that at the moment, and to be honest it would look much more premium. The graphics are crystal clear now and are very easy to see and use. We also have some climate control buttons too, although they are haptic, but it is nice to have them. On the third part we have the air vents as well as your gear selector buttons, drive mode and volume knob. The steering wheel is a two-spoke design like what the Ariya has, but I don't mind this as we do get physical buttons on it. The seats are also very premium and house the trademark Bose speakers in them. With all the premium materials around the cabin, it is a nice place to be and is definitely a huge step up from the old Leaf and even the Ariya. I will look forward to seeing these changes to the Ariya facelift. Right, let's have a look and see what the rear space is like. So climbing into the back and you will notice how light and airy it is, especially with this panoramic sunroof. Legroom and headroom are quite good and the seats sit quite high up so you don't sit in a squatted position like what most EVs do. The premium materials continue in the back on the door cards and even on the seats. You also get an armrest as well as some USB-C ports and some air vents and even some storage. Overall then, not too bad. Let's have a look and see what the boot space is like. So, opening the boot to the new Nissan Leaf and you are welcomed with 437 litres, which isn't too bad and is as good as a Kia EV3 for example. Folding the seats down and you are welcomed with 1,176 litres, which again isn't too bad. Unfortunately no, there isn't a front boot like other EVs, and this is a tradition that carries on from all the other Nissan Leafs. But there are spaces in the back to store the charging cables onto the floor, which is good, unlike the other Nissan Leafs. So in summary then, what do I think of the new Nissan Leaf? Well, it is much better than the old one and still has a Nissan feel to it, but it feels much more premium than it should for a Nissan. If this is where Nissan is heading, then they may be able to steer the sinking ship to safety, especially with the new Nissan Micra 2. It feels and looks much more modern and has a great battery and motor options to suit most buyers. Now, I don't think it will revolutionise the electric car market unfortunately, as the market has now got so big it is hard to compete against every single electric car. It is still a great contender though and does put it much further in the game than where it was with the previous generation. Well done Nissan. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.